Have you ever been in a situation where someone says something that doesn't sit right with you, but no one says anything? This happens all the time, especially with teenagers in school, sports, and even group chats. In this presentation, I'm going to explain two powerful theories that help us understand why: microaggression theory and spiral of silence theory. These theories explain how subtle comments can impact others and why people often stay silent instead of speaking up. According to psychologist Daryl Wing Su, microaggressions are subtle, everyday comments or actions that can be hurtful, even if they're not intended to be. He also explains that often microaggressions happen in normal conversations, and because they're so subtle, they can often go unnoticed. But even small comments can reinforce stereotypes or make someone feel excluded. So over time, these microaggressions can really add up and affect individuals, especially vulnerable teens. Microaggression theory focuses on these small, often unintentional interactions that communicate bias. According to Sue and her colleagues, they can be verbal, like something someone says, or nonverbal, like body language or tone. What makes them difficult is that they're often ambiguous, so the person experiencing it may feel uncomfortable but unsure if they should say something. That uncertainty is a big part of why these situations continue to happen. These are some examples of verbal microaggressions that are common, especially among teenagers. You throw like a girl. Oh, cool story. Stop being such a try-hard. That outfit looks cheap. You're in that class? At first, some of these might sound like jokes or even compliments, but they can carry underlying messages or even stereotypes. And comments like these can make someone feel singled out or uncomfortable, even if that wasn't the intention. The researchers go on to show that microaggressions aren't always spoken. They can also be nonverbal. Things like eye rolling, avoiding someone, or interrupting them can all send a message. These behaviors can make someone feel ignored and unimportant. And again, because they're so subtle, they often go unaddressed. The term microaggression was first introduced in the 1970s by Chester Pierce, who used it to describe subtle forms of racism. The concept was later expanded by Daryl Wing Su in the 2000s to include other everyday forms of bias. So what happens after a microaggression occurs? Often people notice something feels off, but they don't say anything. So this is where the next theory comes in. According to Elizabeth Noel Newman, the spiral of silence theory explains why people choose to stay silent. It was developed by Elizabeth Noel Newman in the 1970s and suggests that people are less likely to speak up when they believe their opinion differs from the majority. Instead, they may remain quiet to avoid judgment, conflict, or isolation from their friends. For example, this can happen in everyday situations like group chats or classrooms. In a group chat, someone might make a rude or inappropriate comment, but even if another person disagrees, they may stay silent instead of speaking up, just to avoid becoming the target or being excluded from the group. In a classroom setting, a student might overhear a comment that they don't agree with or that feels uncomfortable, but again, they choose not to respond because they don't want attention drawn to themselves or they are afraid of being judged by their peers. Over time, when more people stay silent, these comments and behaviors are more likely to continue. These two theories are strongly connected. Microaggressions happen in everyday interactions, and when they do, the spiral of silence often follows. Someone hears a comment that feels wrong, but instead of speaking up, they stay quiet to avoid standing out. Over time, that silence allows these behaviors to continue. This is especially important in schools, where peer pressure and the need to fit in are so strong. Understanding these theories helps us recognize not only what is being said, but also what is not being said. Both of these theories are also used in education and communication to better understand group dynamics and why students might hesitate to speak up. It can help teachers and school counselors create environments where students feel safe sharing their thoughts and addressing harmful behavior.